Okay, Gus and Knox, we are on our hike today. Our purpose for our hike today is to locate evidence of weathering and erosion. The reason we do this hike in the winter is because weathering and erosion can happen due to changes in temperature. When water freezes, it expands. And if water gets in the cracks of rocks and freezes, it expands, causing those rocks to break. So today, we are walking through the, the Crawford Preserve down to the creek to search for evidence of that. So, as I videotape, I'm going to be asking you questions. I'd like you to write those questions down in your science notebook. So you can go ahead and get that out as we walk down the hill. As you can see, the landscape looks a lot different than it did the last time we were here. All of the leaves have fallen off of our deciduous trees as well as our honeysuckle. Oh, I see a cardinal. I don't know if you can see it. Oh, he flew away. Cardinals are a species of bird that does not hibernate, so you can find them in our area year-round. Looks like our tree that we had to climb over the last time we came on our hike has been cut in half, helping our trail to widen a little bit. Excuse me as I walk down the hill here, trying not to fall. Wow, you can see a lot more of our preserve here in the winter without any of the leaves on the trees. Absolutely beautiful. Looks like somebody has done some work to cut out some of the honeysuckle as well. Thank you to whoever that was. All right, let's go on down to the creek. Okay, so today we're not only looking for evidence of ice wedging, we can also look for evidence of erosion by water. So if we look down in the creek, hold on while I get down there. We can see that the rocks that are in the creek that have water flowing over them often are more smooth. You see that? They don't have a lot of jagged edges on top. They've been smoothed down over time. So in your science notebook, I want you to answer this question. Why do you think those rocks are smooth on the top compared to the rocks that have not been in the creek? What force caused that smoothness? Let me find another rock to compare. I think I found one up here. Let's see. I think that's a rock. It might be a tree stump. So why is that rock so bumpy? Yet the ones down here in the creek are so smooth. Go ahead and write that in your notebook. Okay. Let's see what else we can find as you write your answer. Here's another example of a rock that's not so smooth, and rocks that are. Okay, if you look up the creek, you can see some more, lots more rocks. You can see an old tire there, which hopefully will be removed shortly. But you can see the water is constantly flowing, even though it's just a trickle right now. After a heavy rain or storm, that would be a lot more water moving at a lot faster pace. Because of that water, the rocks slowly get weathered away. That water breaks off tiny pieces of the rock and carries it downstream. So the weathering is the breaking of the rock, and then erosion is the moving of that sediment. So if I'm going to try to find a place where there's evidence of erosion. All right. Actually, I feel like this is let's get on here. So if I look here, I can see small pebbles, and if you were to touch it, a lot of this feels like sand or small bits of rock. So this is evidence of actually our next step in the process, which is deposition. So after the rock is broken, the water carries it downstream, and then it deposits or drops off that sediment right in different places, right when the water starts to slow down. So if I pan out here, you'll see that the place where I am is at the bottom of this big gully here where the stream goes down, and you see the cliff there. So there's some sediment right about there too that has been deposited. So there's more evidence of deposition. And then you see where I'm standing, it's kind of a bend in the creek. Right there is the perfect place for that sediment to be dropped off. Another place where there might be a lot of sediment would be in that pool of water. So as the water breaks the little pieces of rock away, it carries it down the water stream till it gets to a pool. And sometimes the water slows enough for that sediment to fall out and fall to the bottom. So I bet if that water was warmer and I was braver and I put my hand in it, I bet at the bottom it would feel muddy or mucky, maybe even a little sandy. So that could be evident, so that is evidence of deposition as well. So as you can see, there's weathering and erosion happening all the time, every day, all around us, even in the creek behind our school. Now, weathering and erosion does not happen in a day. It takes months and months, years, sometimes millions of years to really show. But it is happening all around us. Okay, our last question that I want you to write in your science notebook. I'm going to turn around so you get a good view here. Our last question that I want you to write in your science notebook is: define weathering and give an example. Define erosion and give an example. And define deposition and give an example. I hope you enjoyed our hike. I will walk back up the hill with the video on so that you can see it. And we will be back to class shortly. All right, here we go.